So some of the key learnings was your call to action must be strong. So Al Gore, his whole movement was our democracy has been hacked. It no longer serves the best interests of the people in the country. So you need to have a call to action that is gravitating, that it's going to move your clients to want to do something or your consumers to do something. There's a power of letting people tell their own story is very important. So whether it's through video or through social media channels, giving your consumer the ability to share their stories and have some kind of space for that is also key. Giving your consumers a platform or an area to share their stories is very powerful. And you can really capitalize on that because they in turn become your biggest brand advocates. And so it's very important to try and nurture those relationships and have a venue for them to live and be at and share interaction and ideas. So that was one key learning. And then also define who the real influencers are in your community. Spend some time really investigating and researching who your biggest brand advocates are in the community.
Content really is important to the organization as a whole. It's not just like, a piece of paper, a story, a pitch. There's a lot more to it. The plan is nothing, the planning is everything. That was one of the quotes that came out of the session. So one of their pieces of advice was start by knowing what your customers need, what your target audiences need. But it's not just about what your organization wants to communicate, but what do your customers want to know? And then each organization adopts its own structure, and you can look at it almost, one of them suggested in sort of a journalist's point of view, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And you can reapply that to content in a number of different ways. One of the discussions, one of the topic points that they talked a lot about was, is it container first or is it context first? So is it the topic or is it the vehicle that you're going to use to relay the information? And this is like a recurring theme when you're talking about content. And their mantra was that the content should drive the form, not the other way around. The medium is just a delivery device. And that's something that kept coming up over and over again in a number of these sessions. And some other content tips: always be true to yourself, be true to the brand, allow for experimentation. That's something that I didn't actually expect to hear at South by Southwest, and I heard it a lot, which is, this is not a perfect science. We still haven't figured this all out yet. It's okay to try different things and experiment, and for some channels maybe it doesn't work for the brand and others do. And it's almost like a trial. You have to try things. And I heard that repeatedly. You did too, right? I felt like that was a recurring theme, and I was kind of glad to hear that, because it's something that we do in our day-to-day work, and it's good to know that all the bigwigs are doing it too.
Just some tips for ROI. What does a home run look like to you and your organizations and to your goals? You want to set your expectations, and some of the panelists were like, if you're unsure, set your expectations somewhat low and vocalize that, so hopefully the end users are surprised, or whoever you're reporting to. Define your own metrics that fit your needs and end goal. Like I said, based on what your whole strategy is about. Don't think about necessarily likes, clicks, and sales, although that is still going to be an ROI platform that a lot of people still want. Like management really care about the numbers. So they're like, how many followers did you get, and how many fans do you have, and how many retweets and stuff like that. And that's still important. It definitely is, but you all know ROI goes beyond that. Also, word of mouth, like, did it spread? Like, how far did it spread? What kind of PR came out of your campaign? So did some great publication pick you up, and just based on that, that's great success. You want to think about scalability. And one really neat idea was like a value point system. So maybe you, based on your industry and your goals and everything, you assign certain points to specific numbers of fans or whatever. You can create your own system and have like an internal ROI structure that you can gauge and measure. And how many more people are talking about your brand in context of the industry? You definitely want to measure and compare yourself against your industry and similar related companies, not, you know, the world.